So what ended up happening was there was a Colorado man who was shot dead by the police after this car crash.
Keep your windows down because we're here to help you. How about you step out of the vehicle? Step out of the car.
Hey, dude, we're here to help you.
Queen 6,
out, okay?
7, 6. And it's going to be a property damage crash.
What's your name? Christian, I'm Tim. Dude, we need you to step out to figure out what's going on, okay? No, dude. We're not going to shoot you, but we need you to come here. That's nice.
Nice,
it, buddy.
Watch out. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire.
So the police officer said we're not going to shoot him, and then they shot and killed him. So,
hey.
Shoot you, but we need you to come here. That's nice.
Nice,
it, buddy.
Watch out. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire. Trooper on me. On me. On me.
Drop that knife. Good knife. Drop the knife, Christian. It's in the hand, Chief. Impact, impact, impact. Not dropping it. That's right, Christian. That's right. Jason. Back. Don't do it, Christian. Don't do it. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop that knife. Someone tase him. Someone tase him. You got it. You still got it. Randy, you got that door held shut?
okay, I'm confused as to like all these shots. Who the fuck is they shooting at? They missed him all these damn times or some shit, and he's still like alive? Because there was a lot of gunshots that went off.
He went for you, William. Right? He's slitting his throat.
Go get my medical bag out of the kit.
Drop it, Christian.
Oh my God. What do we do? 10 minutes up.
So I don't know why they always do that after they like assassinate somebody and then say what did they
Addiction
do?
is often the result of what? A, genetics, B, mental illness, C, traumatic
don't know why they do
experiences,
that.
or D, all of the above.
Hold on. All right, damn. All right, cool. I just needed to stop that. All right, so now here it says a newly released video captures the distressing moment an armed 22-year-old Colorado man was shot dead by police after he crashed his car and appeared to be in the throes of a paranoid breakdown. Now, what I find interesting about this article here is that they say that this was an armed 22-year-old man, which would lead somebody to believe that he was armed with a gun, but clearly he was armed with a knife. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, that's interesting. Christian Glass, a citizen of the US, UK, and New Zealand, called 911 for help after he crashed into a ditch in the small mountain town of Silver Plume late on June 10th, telling the cops he was terrified. I'm stuck in a dangerous place and I will be killed, he told the dispatcher, saying he was convinced that shadowy figures were following him. I'm going to have to kill some skinwalkers, he said, referring to the shape-shifting witches of Navajo legend. Oh, this motherfucker was on some shit. If I get out of the car, I might be in danger. It's so terrifying. I'm scared. I love you for being with me, he told the dispatcher. So clearly this dude has some issues. They didn't send any kind of mental health people there. Yeah, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Glass then also confessed to having weapons in the car to help defend himself against his supposed oppressors. Oh, God. but promised he was not dangerous. I have 2 knives, a hammer, a rubber mullet, but I'm not dangerous. I will keep my hands completely visible, he told the dispatcher, offering to throw them out once the officers arrived. Dispatchers passed on that Glass sounds very paranoid, and a Clear Creek County Sheriff's deputy, who was one of the first to respond, calmly asked him, look at this, he asked him, do you need medical, brother? Have you ever heard the police talk to a black person like that? Has the police ever addressed a black person like that? Can we find any quotation on record where a police person spoke to a black person like that? Probably not. Now, here's my question. Why not? This should be an easy one for everybody. Why not? I mean, we're all in this together as men, right? And why bring race into it? And we're all brothers, right? So my question is, why is there nothing on record of a police officer communicating with a black person like this? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys remember Daniel Pruitt in Rochester, New York? If you guys remember Daniel Pruitt in Rochester, New York, give me a thumbs up. Now, my question is, when they went up to Daniel Pruitt, did they say, did you need medical, brother? And Daniel Pruitt was actually a mental health call that was made by his family. Me too, Mike. So I think that that's a question that needs to be asked. What I need to see is I need to see footage of police officers addressing black suspects as brother. I need to see that for research purposes, for educational purposes. I got this feeling, guys. I got a feeling. You guys ready for my feeling? I got a feeling that we won't see any. I got a feeling that that's what I'm asking for is non-existent. So now here we saw this on camera here. No, dude, we're not going to shoot you. One officer is heard telling Glass, who removed his keys from the ignition, but said he was too terrified to get out of the SUV. Sir, I'm terrified. I'm so scared, Glass replies calmly through a crack in the driver's window, offering to throw out his weapons and also follow the officers to their precinct to ensure his safety. But Glass holds his hands on the dash. One of the officers draws a gun after seeing a knife, barking, "Step out of the fucking car now." The exchange appeared to escalate Glass's paranoia with him asking the officer, "Why are you scared of a knife if you are wanting to chat?" Glass then holds his hands in a heart shape at the arrival of more officers. During the standoff, Colorado police sergeant stressed in radio messages that there was no reason to breach the car because no crimes had been committed. So how do you justify this? That's interesting. What do you guys think? Facts, Cameron. They shot Philando Castile, then medics focused on the cops' feelings while he bled out. Facts. Now, I want y'all to pay very close attention to this. During the standoff, a Colorado police sergeant stressed in radio messages there was no reason to breach the car because no crimes had been committed, and Glass did not appear suicidal, homicidal, or a great danger. So now here's my immediate question. Why did the police not listen to their sergeant? And now my question is, why are white people not saying he deserved to be shot because he didn't do what he was told? See, these are open and shut when it comes to white people assessing a crime about black people. I mean, you do what the police say or you die. That's not what the New York Post is saying here, because he didn't do what the police said. The police told him to get out of the car and he didn't get out of the car, which means that he was arresting, so he got killed. But you don't hear white people saying anything. My question is why? I mean, we just gonna act like this didn't happen? However, 5 minutes later, officers moved to smash open his car door to remove glass from the vehicle, prompting the 22-year-old to pick up the knives. So now I got to ask you guys a question. The Colorado State Police Sergeant stressed in the messages that there was no reason to breach the car. The police then breached the car. Now, the 22-year-old picked up one of the knives. At this point, did the police officers give the 22-year-old a reason to defend himself? Because remember, he's not under arrest at this point. So now my question is, what's going on? What are they doing? He's not under arrest. What are the cops doing? And why is it that white people think that you should just allow the cops to do this to you without doing anything or saying anything back? Because what I'm trying to figure out is what the hell the police were doing. What were they doing? And what I'm trying to figure out is why the New York Post isn't focusing on, well, what the hell were y'all doing? Make it make sense. So now here it says authorities finally break the window, and around 15 minutes later, immediately screaming orders at him to drop the knife. Glass repeatedly screams in terror, his head swinging around to look at the officers surrounding his vehicle. He continues screaming in clear terror as officers fire beanbags at him. So that's what they was doing. They was firing beanbags at him. Okay, here's my question, y'all. Why did they fire beanbags at him? Facts, Mimi. They have one job when it comes to black people: kill. Cameron says they breached the vehicle by shattering the window after they were told not to. They said they weren't going to shoot him, and they shot and killed him. All facts. All irrefutable, undeniable facts. Now, here's my question. White people complain all the time about police when they kill white people. It's not talked about. Where's the white people at? Because we're talking about it. Tim Pool, the Quarterling, Salty Cracker, Mark Dice, you know what I'm saying? Joe Rogan. Silent. None of them, Glenn Beck, none of them have done a video about this. If you guys find one, or if you see one, shoot it to me. Tag me in on Twitter, or, you know what I'm saying, get it to me. So my thing is that the question is, are white people's complaints about white people having violence against them by police valid? If you ask me, the answer is no. They are covered, and white people just decide that what is most important is the privilege instead of justice. Because if you stress justice, the implication of justice should be that it's applied equally. If it's applied equally, that deteriorates privilege. So what ends up happening is you have to let something like this happen every now and then in order to maintain the social status quo, which is one of the reasons why you don't see this reported. It's one of the reasons why white people are silent on this. If white lives matter, why aren't white conservatives and white Republicans talking about this? Again, that's if white lives matter, because this is white on white crime right here. This guy, if you ask me, was clearly unjustifiably assassinated by the police. The police also did not follow orders from their superior, and this individual was not even under arrest. He wasn't under arrest. But remember, you don't have to be under arrest when it comes to I'm white and I say so. When it comes to I'm white and I say so, you just do what you're told, boy. So he should have just did what he was told, boy, and I guess he would still be alive by Fox News logic. And see, they don't like that. I don't give a fuck if they don't like it or not. You look at this shit. Like, look at this. This is what that shit gets you. A 22-year-old white dude who didn't do shit, assassinated by the police. So, you know what I'm saying? All of these people who claim to care so much about the preservation of their race aren't doing shit to preserve their race. We just saw a father that killed his family. Now we're looking at these police officers gun down an innocent person. At what point do people decide to be honest with themselves? Never. You'll see more crimes like this. This is a white sacrifice right here. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call this. That's what Neely Fuller Jr. talked about. You're looking at it right here. Where's the outcry? Now you'll have some idiot needle nose Karen on Twitter say, "Where's the national outcry? I guess he's just the wrong color." Well, I mean, if white lives matter, why isn't there a white lives matter outcry? I mean, what I find fascinating is when it comes to white people crying about Black Lives Matter, I can't tell you how many white clients Benjamin Crump has taken as his client for civil rights cases for police brutality, abuse, and death. So, I mean, again, we got to ask the question, if white lives matter, where are the white voices on this? Where are they? One of the officers then unloads a fury of shots as Glass holds up the knife as another officer approaches his window. Now, mind you, through all of this, he's not under arrest. Through all of this entire thing, he's not under arrest. You know what I'm saying? An autopsy showed that Glass died as a result of multiple gunshot wounds, including 5 in his torso. The manner of death, in my opinion, is homicide, the pathologist wrote. Glass's mother, Sally Glass, said her son was petrified and paralyzed by fear the night he was killed. He was paralyzed by bullets. I have a hole in my heart, and it will be there until the day I die, she said. Your son probably has one in his, too, and that's what caused him to die. Blaming the police. The family's attorney, Siddhartha Rathod of the Denver-based Rathod Mohammed, said that Glass was clearly in a crisis. Christian was experiencing a crisis and he called 911 for help. So again, what I tell people about calling 911, who's been watching these videos since I've been doing them a long time ago? Bronze the God been around, DJ Elmo been around, my man U-Law been around, Faith and Lighten been around. All these times when there's a mental health crisis, when the family calls or when people call on themselves, the police kill them. It's damn near like a 100% ratio. At least of the stories that we did. He called the police for some help, and they helped him to heaven early. That's not cool. Now, here's my question for everybody. What do you guys think about that? Yet these officers busted out Christian's window, shot him 6 times with beanbag rounds, tased him multiple times from 2 tasers, and then shot him 5 times. He was fully contained in his vehicle and presenting no threat, the statement insisted, saying he had committed no crime, posed no threat to himself or others, and there was no reason for continued contact. Now, here's my question. Do you guys agree with that or do you disagree? I'll read it again. He was fully contained in his vehicle and presenting no threat, the statement insisted, saying he had committed no crime, posed no threat to himself or others, and there was no reason for continued contact. These officers took a gentle, peaceful soul and extinguished it simply because it was time to move the night on, the law firm said. The autopsy said that Glass had THC, the main psychoactive compound in marijuana, in his system, and a 0.01% blood alcohol concentration. He also had amphetamine, which Rethod said is likely from an ADHD prescription. Yeah, also likely from meth use. And it's clear that this guy uses drugs because he had THC in his system. So pay very close attention to how they do that there. How they do that there. You know what I'm saying? Pay very close attention to how they do that. Oh, you know, it's probably from a prescription. Yeah, it's probably not from a prescription. It's probably from using meth. You know what I'm saying? That's probably one of the reasons why he was all amped up like that. Look at this shit.
Are you ready for winter? Road trip.
So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please make sure that you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, help your boy out. Go ahead and smash that like button and hit that bell icon twice.
Much. It's so unfair.
By all accounts, Christian Glass was the kind of guy you'd want to get to know.
He was a gentle soul with a big heart.
An artist who found beauty in rocks, hence the geology knives he kept in his car and the other treasures recovered by his family.
These heart rocks were in Christian's car, along with other rocks and precious stones.
Those are some of the only reminders of that night in June that Sally Glass wants to hold on to.
You know, there's a hole in my heart, and it will be there till the day I die.
I'm in a vehicle. My vehicle got stuck in a really bad way.
The night Christian called 911 for help.
You already said you have weapons in the car.
Okay, I'm gonna pass them out. Can I throw them out?
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them.
And was met with this.
Step out of the car now. I will break the window. Step out of the car.
He had done nothing wrong. He was just too scared to get out of his car.
After 70 minutes of negotiating with Christian to get out of the car, even though things were at times calm.
That's awesome. Where'd you get that?
A deputy decided to break his window. And after
Yeah, that's awesome. Where did you get that? Again, when do you ever hear him talking to black people like that?
Out. Can I throw them out?
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them.
and was met with this.
Step out of the car now. I will break the window. Step out of the car.
He had done nothing wrong. He was just too scared to get out of his car.
After 70 minutes of negotiating with Christian to get out of the car, even though things were at times calm,
That's awesome. Where'd you get that?
a deputy decided to break his window. And after Christian grabbed one of those geology knives, the deputy shot him with beanbag rounds, tased him, and eventually shot and killed him after he appears to swipe at a nearby officer.
He trusted the police to come and help him. Instead, they attacked and killed him.
Use of force experts who reviewed this video say the decision to break Christian's window, escalating the entire encounter, is questionable at best. Just 20 minutes before it, the state patrol, who was also on the scene, questioned whether they had the legal ground to do it.
If there's no crime and he's not suicidal, homicidal, or a grave danger, then there's no reason to contact him.
You know, I've been doing this almost 20 years. Seen some of the worst things that have ever come through this state. I have never seen this level of poor policing.
The Glasses and their attorneys are calling for charges against the deputy for the decision made that night.
Our son's life is extinguished and no one is accountable.
A decision that took their son's life when all he wanted was help.
And what keeps me upright and what keeps me putting one foot in front of the other is to seek justice and really to get that behind bars.
My thing is, how would it feel to be a part of the All Lives Matter, don't arrest or don't resist? How would it feel to be a part of that crowd and then lose your kid in this way? I don't know these people. I don't know their politics. But I got the feeling that all of these white people who end up losing their kids to police are part of that All Lives Matter blue line community. And I just want to know what it feels like after you've been talking shit about all these black people, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, Botham John, Breonna Taylor. I just want to know what it feels like to talk that shit and think that you're immune from that shit, and then you lose your kid in the same fashion. I want to know if that does anything to anybody. I want to know if that changes people. Honestly, I don't think it does. I don't think they had a capacity to change like that, but I'd be curious if it does. The reason why is that it's been so many white people who have had their kids killed by police, yet and still there's literally zilch change in mind state. Justice for this person, you shouldn't have resisted. Yeah, facts, Carlton. The white mom wants punishment, but you should forgive.
The 5th Judicial District Attorney released a statement today confirming that the use of force is still being investigated by her office. She says her office has also been in contact with the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Justice Department Civil Rights Division, and the FBI Denver office. Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office has not responded to our questions still about this video. The attorneys for the family say that the deputy is back on the street, was back on the street quickly. We've asked the Sheriff's Office, is he back on the street? We still haven't heard back.
Well, the video and the press conference, both very difficult to watch. And you think about not really knowing the subject's background. And it just seems like one of the first things you try to do in a situation like that, or you expect to have done in that situation, is a de-escalation of what was happening at the time.
When you watch the full 70-minute video, you see that when the officers or when the deputies initially arrive, they escalate almost immediately. Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. This is a lawful order, get out of the car. I've talked to use of force experts who say.
Now, here's my question. This is another interesting scenario. Have you ever seen the white media playing defense attorney for a black victim of police violence? I've never seen a white media newscaster as outraged as this guy is. Have you? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have, let me know. If you haven't, also let me know.
I don't see justification for the lawful order to get him out of the car. And it takes a little while. They finally calm things down. They have a few calm minutes, but then when they make that decision to break the window, that's when things
spiral. All go sideways.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We know you've been working on this for many days and watching every single minute of this video because that's important for context.
It's an incredibly difficult video to watch. If you do want to watch it for yourself, we have it on 9news.com. I will warn you, it's very difficult to watch.
There will be.
Now, here's my question. Do you guys think that the police will make fun of his body? Do you think that there'll be any weird drawings or anything like that about him? That's my question. What do you guys think?